All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another session here on Facebook Live. My name is Patrick France, Senior Instructor here at VectorVest. Glad to be with you all here today. If you guys can hear me, let me know in the chat there or in the comments section that you guys can hear me. Everything is coming through on your end. Once we have confirmation of that, we'll go ahead and get started here today. But once again, hopefully everyone is doing well. Glad to have you all here. My name is Patrick France, Senior Instructor. Been here at VectorVest for about 9 years now. Specifically over the last 4 or 5 years working on our mobile app and helping educate people on it and helping get the best user experience out of it as well. So I see Steve coming in as our first person chiming in today. Hey there, Steve. Hopefully you're doing well. Glad to have you here today. Awesome. So, sounds awesome. Thank you, Joey. Loud and clear. Perfect. I did make some changes, so hopefully you guys can hear me a lot better. Hey there, Angel. I like that. The high flyers. That's right. So today we've got a special topic here where we're going to be talking about how to efficiently manage your portfolio in really a matter of minutes a day. This one's really actually special to me because, growing up as a kid, my father was an investor. That's who I learned how to trade from and how to invest from initially. And, growing up, he used to spend hours upon hours having to go through, lots of different graphs, lots of different stocks, just to manage the portfolios that he was trading. And so, once I started working here at VectorVest, I realized that all that extra time is really unnecessary for 99% of investors out there. The Stock Advisory app is a great tool for on the go to be able to track your portfolio, see what's going on, and manage it more efficiently, so that way you can free up time to do things you'd rather be doing rather than spending a lot of time, sitting at a computer all day long, analyzing stock after stock and have to do all that. So, I really like doing this one, or I really like talking about this topic because, I'm a big fan of family, spending time with friends, and going over what we're going to cover here today is going to free up a lot of your time to be able to spend it with your friends, spend it with your family, do things you'd rather be doing rather than being stuck at a computer all day. So hopefully you guys are excited. I know I definitely am. Glad to have everyone here. Awesome. Thank you guys for all the confirmation. Glad to see everything's coming through. Good morning, Tom. Hey there, Yun. Hey, Jay. Hopefully you're doing well. Let's see. Who else do we have here? Anybody else? Just making sure I shout out everybody that chimes in there. So good morning, high flyers. Welcome to another session. Glad to be with you guys. Let's go ahead, jump right into the swing of things here today. What we're going to do is first start to take a look at what's going on in the market, and then we'll dive into our topic. We'll show you how easy it can be to really manage your portfolio in a matter of seconds. And then, as always, we always save the fan favorite towards the very end, where we'll show you how to analyze your own stocks in less than 20 seconds. So with that, let's go ahead, jump right into today's market activity here. So as we can see right now, we are currently one tick into the green. Therefore, the market is mildly bullish, and VectorVest advocates buying safe, undervalued stocks that are rising in price at this time. But we'll see if we have confirmation of that in just one moment here. As we scroll down, we take a look at the color guard. We can see where that one green light is coming from, and that definitely is going to be the price because the markets are higher, so of course the price action of the overall market is going to be higher here today as well. But we look at the RT. It's flat day over day and actually lower week over week. Markets have been moving higher, but RT has actually been moving lower. Once again, just confirming that bearish divergence we've been talking about over the last few weeks. Then we look at the BSR. BSR, yeah, it's higher day over day, but still lower on a week over week basis. So that's why we're still in the yellow on the BSR here today. Then looking at the MTI, MTI continues to stay at that top heavy level of 1.65. It's really been struggling to break above that point. So as we can see, that does show that the underlying trend in the market is getting top heavier, that this market may be reaching that mature stage that we've been talking about over the last few weeks. Then as we look at the trend, of course, we're going to be in an up because, The weekly trend of the market is up, so the price of the VectorVest composite is higher on a week-over-week basis. Plus, the underlying trend of the market is up because the MTI is above 1 still. And then, as always, we get to the calls column, which stands for our confirmed calls. This is going to be our last signal we give our investors to get into the market and our last signal we get to get out. Therefore, you never want to ignore a confirmed call change, and this is going to be for the more longer term or more conservative investor. And as we can see, we still remain in that up situation as of today. Now, as I mentioned a second ago, we are going to confirm, see if we have that bias that we like to see with the advanced declines to confirm what we were seeing in the gauge at the very top. So right now, we are sitting at 41% of stocks moving higher and 46% of stocks moving lower. Therefore, we don't have that 2-to-1 bias that we like to see. Therefore, we don't have confirmation that, we should be getting into anything here today. We see, a little bit of hesitation, a fight between the bulls and the bears currently. So therefore, still sticking with maintaining our current holdings, managing those, and being very cautious if we're adding any new positions currently. Then as we scroll down, take a look at the major indices. So the Dow is down about 1/3%. NASDAQ's up about 0.8%. S&P is up barely anything, essentially flat here for the day. And overall, the VectorVest composite up about 0.25%. So now that we've got that out of the way, the main topic here today. So what we're going to be talking about for anybody, I see a lot of people just tuning in. What we're going to be covering here today is showing you how easy VectorVest can make managing your portfolio. And really, it all starts with the watch list. Whether you've been here for a long time or whether you're brand new to the Stock Advisory app, the watch lists are one of the most powerful pieces of the VectorVest software, the Stock Advisory app, and really should be utilized to its fullest potential. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a watch list here today, and I want you guys to give me some stock symbols. They don't have to be the best stocks. They could be your worst stocks. They could be anything really, but let me know in the comments here some stocks that you guys want to see as we put this watch list together, and then we'll show you how building a watch list, how to use that to manage your portfolio effectively here. So I'll go down to the watch list at the bottom, and I'll start to give my ticker symbols that I want to add here. So let's see what symbols we got coming up here today. ENPH, of course. No surprise to see ENPH in the list. All right, ENPH. Let's see what else we got. There we go. CRM. Oh, there we go. CVS, NVIDIA, CVS, NVDA, AMD, Shop, there we go. BHGE. BHGE. Not finding that symbol there. V. WKSH. Not finding that. Let's see. Yeah, not finding that one either. Let's see what else we got here today. NXST. XSPA. PE. Okay, sure. We'll go ahead and get that in here. Etsy, ETSY. Wow, I'm surprised nobody's put in Tesla so far. mRNA, of course, we'll talk about that one. JMIA. There we go. Let's see what else we got. Got a lot of stocks coming in. GM. I actually just finished or closed out of my GM trade. So GM's been a good performer for us. INTC. And then GGB. And as you can see, you can add as many stocks as you want. Once you've added your stocks, all you got to do is click on Create Watch List at the bottom. And then give it a name. We'll call this Facebook Live and then today's date. There we go. And as you can see, what VectorVest automatically does is brings the best performers right to the top of the list, and the worst performers will be at the bottom. Now, if you're brand new or if you're just getting started with this kind of process, you don't need to worry about the stocks that are, going up, that are doing the best, because those are doing what you want them to be doing. You really want to start off focusing on the stocks that are hurting your portfolio the most. Well, all you got to do is go to the rank by at the top and choose RT. Now, if you're not familiar, RT is the relative timing. It's the short-term price trend of the stock, and it's cast on a scale of 0 to 2. So stocks with an RT above 1 shows that they're in an uptrend, or another way of thinking about it is that they're making you money. If the stock's RT is below 1, that shows that they would be in a downtrend or that they would be losing you money. So once you choose what you want to rank it by, you just resort it by tapping on the button to the right, and it'll bring the stocks of the lowest RT to the top of the list. This essentially, is like your own money manager. And what it does is it now tells us what stocks we need to focus on first and foremost. That way we can free up cash to reinvest into stocks that'll make us money. If we're holding on to stocks that are losing us money, it doesn't make sense to hold on to a depreciating asset. Unless, there's a few rare occasions, but for the most part, we want to free up that cash, minimize that loss. That way we can move on from that trade, not have to worry about it anymore, and get our portfolio on the right track. As we can see, XSPA is our worst performer with an RT of 0.40, telling us that not only is it in a downtrend, but it's also in a really strong downtrend. So let's go ahead and analyze it together here. So we take a look at the 4 main indicators that we use to analyze a stock: RV, RS, RT, and VST. All of them are cast on a scale of 0 to 2 to make your life a lot easier. Looking at the RV, it's looking at the long-term potential over the next 1 to 3 years. Being at 0.11, that tells us there is poor long-term potential over the next 1 to 3 years. So, we want to see stocks that have good long-term potential typically. Looking at the safety factor, how much risk is involved with this stock? Below 1 tells us there's a lot of risk involved with this stock currently. Then we look at the timing. Once you get into a stock, timing is everything. Timing at 0.40, falling like a rock, telling us we should be staying away from this stock for the time being right now, because it's just losing money, and we don't want to put our money into something that's just going to depreciate right away for us. So overall, the stock is not favorable, and that's what's showing with a 0.42 VST rating here. Now, as I mentioned just a second ago, and something I just want to make sure everybody's aware of, is fundamentals get you into a stock or help you identify stocks you want to get into. So looking at the RV and RS are crucial for finding stocks that you want to buy when you're looking to replace a stock or when you're looking to get into something new. But once you actually own a stock, you're not worried about the fundamentals at that point. Once you get into a stock or you own a stock, the most important thing is price action or, price direction. If you're owning a stock, it doesn't matter how good of fundamentals it has. If it's going down, it's still losing you money, and that's the most important thing. So that's why we put a primary focus on RT on stocks that you're currently holding or your current portfolio here. So we take a look at the graph. Just looking at the last 6 months, we can see it definitely had some heydays, definitely had some great time to make some money, but since that point, it's been falling like a rock here. It's gone all the way from just shy of $9 to trading at $3.50. So, and even lower than that. It got cut by 2/3 essentially in a matter of a month or so. These are the stocks that, these are speculative stocks, which is what the RV and RS tell us. And this is telling us that, right now, definitely not the time to be into it. And even if you're a speculative trader, definitely not the time to be into it. So XSPA, probably going to get rid of. It's hurting our portfolio the most. It's continuing to fall. So that's a great place to start to free up cash so we can invest it into stocks that will do what we want them to be doing. So let's go ahead, swipe to the left, and that'll delete it here out of the watch list or out of your portfolio essentially. And now the next one, Intel. Taking a look at it, this one, good fundamentals, decent RV with a 1.42 rating, decent RS of 1.2. Timing though, 0.77, tells us it's in a pretty strong downtrend. This is what I was mentioning earlier. even though the stock has good fundamentals, once you actually own the stock, it matters. The most important thing that matters is whether or not the stock's making you money or not. As you can see, over the last 6 months, it had a great run off of the rally from the lows in March, but it looks like it had some pretty bad earnings performance. You had a sell-off going into that right before that big gap down, and then it gapped down from about $60 a share to about $50 a share. So, yeah, even the best stocks can go down in an up market. Even the worst stocks can go up in an up market. So, this is why fundamentals are great when analyzing your stocks and when finding a stock to get into. But once you own it, momentum and price direction is everything at that point. Shirley, if you have questions on looking for something in the software, just give our support a call. They'd be glad to help you out there. All right, so INTC, yeah, probably going to get rid of it for now. Even though it has good fundamentals, it's still in a downtrend, it's still losing us money. Next one, Moderna, mRNA. Even though it has a hold rating, it still has an RT below 1. This is a speculative stock. Everybody knows it. If you're not familiar with it, it's looking to find a vaccine for the coronavirus that's currently, plaguing the world right now. And it's definitely had some great moves higher, but it's a very risky stock. It's a very speculative stock still. They don't have any vaccine currently out there. So you are speculating that, they're going to be the one that comes out with that vaccine and going to be the one that really profits the most. But for the time being, right now, it's falling sharply off of those highs. You may have some support coming up, but this is one that, you look at and you ask yourself, do I really want to hold on to this? Have my stops been met? Those kind of questions are going to really help identify whether or not the stock is something you still want to hold on to. And ask yourself, are the reasons you purchased this stock initially still true today? If they are, maybe you'll sit through this, especially with how much volatility it can have and how fast it can spike. But if you're not comfortable with it, maybe you'll just simply cut it, get it out of the portfolio. You can always get back into it later on, but at least you're, not risking any downside. You're also giving up a little bit of potential upside as well. So mRNA, yeah, we'll go ahead, free up that cash for right now. CVS. Good long-term potential, but does have some additional risk associated with it. It's in a steady decline. We take a look at the graph. It had a big drop just a few months ago, just around, looks like the beginning of June. And since that point, it's really been moving sideways. So this is one that, may not be a loss in capital, depending on when you got in, or it could be a minimal loss in capital. But at the same time, it's a bigger loss in opportunity. As the stock is moving sideways, you can't make money in a stock moving sideways unless you're trading options on that, which we're not even going to get into today. So you're just losing out on putting that cash into a stock that's continuing to go up. That could make you money. So CVS, definitely going to be one we're getting rid of just because of the loss of opportunity. And now we can see our portfolio's definitely looking a little bit better. We still have some risky trades in there, some stocks that we definitely want to pay attention to, but we've now freed up cash to make sure that we're ready to go when we find another better opportunity to jump into. Now, looking at this, these should be gone. There we go. All right, so now that we've got them up here, we've got a good list of stocks. Our RT on the overall basket is going to be higher, telling us that the portfolio is doing what we want it to be doing. The portfolio as a whole now is making us money, is moving in the right direction. And this is the key. You want to have your overall portfolio working for you. You don't want to have to be constantly managing it just to try to figure out, what's working, what's not, all of that there. Let's see, start with point one. Answering somebody else. Okay. Hey, Jordan, there's nothing wrong with starting off small and working that way up. I have a Robinhood account. I started off with barely anything in and doing pretty well with it. So, I also have other accounts as well, but, regardless of what amount of capital you're starting with, you can always continue to grow it and always continue to reap the benefits of. You got to start somewhere. Don't worry about, how big the account is. You have to start, or else you're never going to get an opportunity to do it. This app is just for analysis. So, Jose, the app allows you to manage your portfolio. You can trade directly through it with the Trade Now functionality. I don't have it linked with this one, but for the US, you have Ally, Interactive Brokers, and TradeStation. You can send your orders directly from the app if you have one of these brokers connected to your app. If you're in Canada, you also have the ability to trade through Questrade as well. But you can't place directly through us. We're not a brokerage house. We analyze the market, telling you when to get in, when to get out, allow you to, compare stocks on an even playing field rather than trying to look at two different people's analysis and try to see if they match up or compare them together. Also, it allows you to manage your portfolio, as we're talking about here, and allows you to free up time so you can, spend time doing things you'd rather be doing. Why do you use a watch list to manage your portfolio instead of the portfolio? Great question, Bob. So the reason why I'm using a watch list is because it allows us to do fundamental analysis. It allows us to analyze the portfolio as a whole, whereas the portfolios themselves, I'll go pull one up. Let's see. The portfolios themselves really just talk about, percent price change and, dollar weighted and how your shares are doing based upon how much money you have in them. So as you can see here, you have the gain, ROI, day gain. You can also choose some of the VectorVest sorts as well. But the main focus with the portfolio is to track your position going forward. And if you're getting into the Stock Advisory app, if you're brand new, utilizing the watch list not only allows you to see, the analysis on your stocks, but allows you to quickly identify which one's the worst and which one's the best without having to go in and put all of your, your price information into the, how many shares you bought, what price you bought it for, what date you bought it for, all of that. So it allows you to get that information a little bit quicker. Now, once you've been into it for a little bit, obviously you can spend some more time building that portfolio. But to get started, building a watch list is going to be the fastest and easiest way to do it. Is Robinhood a good app to use? Yeah, there's a lot of people here that use Robinhood. Maybe somebody can chime in, let them know, your thoughts on it. But yeah, I mean, every broker is different. It really depends on what you're looking for and what you want out of your brokerage account. All right, let's see. What criteria goes into the decision behind the scenes? Criteria for what decision there, Gary? Let's see. What do you think? So Marvin, stick around for a few minutes and we'll definitely analyze any stock that you guys want to take a look at just in a moment here. How about Simple? Simple, not familiar with them, JP. Let's see. All right, perfect. So, with that, let's go ahead. What we'll do is we'll start to jump into the fan favorite here today, where we'll talk about analyzing your stocks, show you how you can do so. If you're not already signed up with the VectorVest Stock Advisory, this will give you an insight onto what we do and how we analyze stocks and how to interpret that analysis. And if you've been here for a while, this will just help refresh it or get the information you're looking for. Also, while you guys are putting your stocks that you want to analyze in, if you haven't already hit that like button, if you haven't already hit that share button, do so now. Go down right below the video, hit the share button in the bottom right, and hit that like button in the bottom left. All that helps me out, gets this community continuing to grow. And, the way I look at it is the bigger the community, the more insight and info I get from you guys, or input I get from you guys. And that helps actually go into the decision-making process of, what we work on and how we can improve our app to make it the most encompassing trading app available for you guys. So would I say VectorVest is better suited for day trading or long-term investing or both? So the Stock Advisory app, great for short-term swing trading, longer term investing, if you want to get into day trading, that kind of thing, we definitely have the great tools available for that, especially with our Jockey Club. But that would require the desktop application, because if you're a day trader, you need real-time data. And the only way to get real-time data is to have the desktop application, which you can see above me. So if you're interested in that, give our support a call. They can discuss, your different options there. Let's see. What drives the bus for Vector? Once again, Gary, you gotta give me more than that. You're asking the same question, just worded differently. What specifically are you looking for? What are you talking about that you're looking to get more insight in? I'd be glad to answer it. Just got to know exactly what you're looking for, and I can answer it there. All right. Let's see. Let's get into the analysis now. First, before I do that, I got one more question I want to get into. Julie is asking how you can add to a watch list that you've already created. So, great question. If you're into the watch list and you want to add more stocks to it, just tap on the 3 little dots in the upper right, add stocks, and you can go ahead and add as many as you want there, Julie. You're not limited to it once you've created the watch list. All right, so to do the analysis, as always, I click on the magnifying glass in the upper right, and then go ahead and start typing my stocks. So the first one, CHFS. There we go. Give me one moment here. There we go. So CHFS, looking at the analysis, the RV below 1, poor long-term potential. RS below 1 tells us there's a lot of risk involved with this. Because both those indicators are below 1, that tells us that this is a speculative stock by definition. So looking at the RT, 0.46, strong downtrend. Overall, stock's not favorable. All right, let's see. HMY. HMY had a great run with gold and silver taking a little bit of a hit recently, and definitely felt a lot of that pain, but up nicely here today, up almost 4.5%. But this stock has great long-term potential over the next 1 to 3 years. Does have a little bit more risk than the average stock out there. Really strong short-term uptrend, even with that pullback that just occurred. Overall, the stock's definitely favorable. Let's see, BPOP. BPOP, about average long-term potential. A little bit more risk associated with it, but it's in a slight decline. So overall, the stock's not favorable right now. INUV. And if you guys like the analysis, if you guys want to see more of this analysis, don't forget to share the video. Hit that share button right now. I want everybody in here today. We've got 150 people right now in the room. I want everybody, if you haven't already hit that share button. I want to see 150 likes on it, or 150 shares on this video here today alone. So if you haven't already done so, make sure to hit that share button, bottom right corner. Get this information out there, because this can be a life changer for a lot of people who are investing. All right, so INUV. You've got poor long-term potential. You have a lot of risk associated with it. It's in a really strong decline. Overall, the stock's definitely not favorable right now. GNRC. GNRC, you have a little less than average long-term potential over the next 1 to 3 years. You have really good consistent fundamentals, so a strong RS, so more of a conservative stock. Really nice strong uptrend. Overall, the stock's still favorable. Ed is asking, when a stock has a buy, hold, or sell, what are the best factors taken into consideration to actually make the right move? So it depends on when you're looking at that, Ed. If you're just getting started with the app and you see a stock that you put in there that has a sell, it's really going to bring your attention to it and tell you, you need to pay, or you need to ask yourself, are the reasons you purchased that stock still true today? If yes, maybe you'll hold it. If no, most likely you're going to dump that stock, get it out of your portfolio, free up cash to reinvest. And before you even look at the buy, hold, and sell ratings, the more important factor before those ratings there is going to be the market timing. Knowing where the market is at, where we're at in the trend, all of that is going to trump any individual rating on a stock. So regardless of whether or not the stock has a buy or a hold or a sell, if the overall market is telling us we should err on the side of caution or simply do not buy, we don't buy it. Simple as that. We don't want to overanalyze it. Just take it as is. That's the way the system's been designed, and that's why it's worked efficiently for over 30 years now. All right. So let's see. SPCE is the next one. SPCE. So poor long-term potential, a lot of risk associated with this stock. It's in a steady decline. Overall, the stock is not favorable right now. PDSB. PDSB, good long-term potential. It does have a lot of risk, though. It's a biotech, so no surprise there. It's in a steady decline, or a sharp decline, actually. So overall, the stock is not favorable right now. REGN. All right, so looking at REGN, you have great long-term potential. You have solid fundamentals. You have the stock essentially flat on a short-term basis. Overall, the stock is favorable. Definitely be one that you keep an eye on. But, with the strong fundamentals, if the timing starts slowing down at all from where it's currently at, obviously you're going to have to make that decision on, locking your profit in or, what you're going to do to possibly offset it if it does continue to decline. But for the time being, it still has really strong fundamentals. Just need to see that timing pick up a little bit. Let's see. Jets. So ETF here, I'm taking it. Since the RV and RS are at 1, ETFs, especially if you're new here, ETFs don't report quarterly financial statements. So therefore, they're just going to always be pegged at 1, since RV and RS are going to be fundamental indicators. They don't have those quarterly earnings to analyze those fundamentals there. So the main thing to focus on when you're looking at ETFs is the RT. Above 1, the ETF is an uptrend. Yeah, definitely a good thing. It's what you want to buy. ETF below 1 tells it's in a downtrend. That's the signal to get out of it. 1.11, just slightly above that. This is definitely going to be one you take a look at. You go to the graph settings, change your indicator to RT, and analyze the RT. So right now, RT slightly declining. If it crosses below 1, definitely going to be getting out of it. But, would like to see that RT picking up to get us an opportunity to, say that that's a good one to get into. Brian tuned in. Just got into day trading, bought 1 share from the recommended safe stock. If you're day trading, you're not really going to be looking at safety stocks. Safety stocks typically move slower, Brian. So you're going to be looking for more aggressive, speculative stocks, high flyers, which, hey, that's why we're the VectorVest high flyers here. So, if you're looking for high flyers, you're at the right spot. That's what our nickname comes from. Anybody who's a long-term member here that is also in our jockey club can tell you I'm a big fan of high flyers. I'll take those stocks early in the morning, have fun with them on a day trading basis. If you're into that, give our support a call. Ask them about the jockey club. They can definitely help you out and give you some insight on, how to day trade, those looking for those kind of stocks to day trade, all of that there. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next. Just got to refresh. For some reason, Facebook's comment section is not automatically updating anymore like it used to. So if I missed comments, sorry, I do apologize. Not trying to. Just want to make sure we get this set, or make sure we get as many as possible answered here. Hey, that's what I like hearing, Rick. Well done. Not bad. 38% in 3 months. Well done. Let's see. So Riot Blockchain is a buy now. Let's take a look. If you don't know the ticker symbol, that's okay. Just start to type in the name or the name of the stock. You got it right here. It'll automatically find it for you. So definitely not a buy right now. Poor long-term potential, a lot of risk associated with this stock. For a speculative stock like this, we like to see that RT at least at that 1.4 or greater range definitely below that mark. Therefore, the stock is definitely not favorable. DKNG. DKNG, poor long-term potential, a lot of risk associated with this stock. Timing is in a slight decline, so overall the stock is not favorable. And also, just to, since people are starting to talk about it, we had people asking about the day trading, that kind of thing. You know, one of the things I wasn't in Jockey Club this morning, so our Jockey Club members who are in here today may not, or I haven't been able to talk to them about it yet. But we talked about IGC at the very end of our session yesterday. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough time to pull the trigger and trade that yesterday during the session, but I did trade it yesterday in our my Robinhood app and made 56% just throughout the day yesterday in that one trade alone. So, you know, there is a lot of benefits to the Jockey Club, especially if you're a day trader or a short-term trader. You know, you can find some really good, really good candidates, high momentum candidates, because it's an open trading room essentially where everybody can chime in, everybody can put their input in, and it's a great community to really find, stocks that you want to trade on a short-term basis. So hopefully some of you guys were taking advantage of that as well. Any Jockey Club members were taking advantage of IGC. We did find it towards the very end, but didn't get a chance to trade it during the session. All right. Is APT still worth for long? Let's go take a look. APT. You have great long-term potential, actually. Pretty decent fundamentals. Timing at 1.02. So it's just really flat overall. This would definitely be one you want to pull up. You see the sharp decline in RT heading in the wrong direction. This is one that if you haven't started tightening up your stops, definitely do so. Because if that RT falls back below 1, that tells us the stock's in a downtrend or not doing what we want it to be doing. And therefore, you know, that would be your answer to get rid of it. So that's some ways of taking some defensive action when you see a stock that's starting to pull back like that. Awesome. Thank you there, Marcus. Glad to have you here. I haven't seen you in a while, so glad to see you here. Hopefully you're doing well. You got a couple of stocks you want to take a look at. Of course, we'll look at them for you. CSCO. So CSCO, getting smoked here today, down 11%, but let's analyze it together. So RV, great long-term potential, 1.35, really strong. RS, average, so it has average risk in the market right now. Timing, 0.83, tells us it's moving the wrong direction. Overall, the stock's about average. We take a look at it. Interestingly enough, we can see that, you know, price essentially reached a double top here right around the beginning of June, and then once again here. But look at what the RT was doing over that same time frame. I'll zoom into a 3-month. Price was moving higher, RT was moving lower, creating that bearish divergence. We talked about that just a few days ago or a few weeks ago, and look what happens next. All of a sudden, I'm assuming earnings came out, stock got hit pretty hard here. So hopefully you were cautious with that bearish divergence. Right now, obviously not the time to get into it. Hopefully, you know, that lesson or that session helped you protect yourself and avoid any major loss if you're in that one. Let's see, BMY. Bristol Myers. So looking at Bristol Myers here, as we can see, you have good long-term potential or great long-term potential, decent fundamentals, timing. Really, we want to see it above 1.1 to tell us that it's in a steady uptrend. But, you know, 1.09, still not bad. Still in an uptrend, just not making a lot of money, but it is making money. So overall, the stock's favorable. You know, this is a pretty fundamentally sound stock. So you may not be into it as a momentum play, but for the time being, stock's still favorable overall. Yeah, there we go, Jay. Let's see, SRNE. SRNE. So SRNE, great long-term potential. You have a lot of risk associated with it, though. It's a biotech. No surprise there. A lot of risk involved with most biotechs. Timing 1.04, even up, 10% here today, that timing is telling us we really need to be careful with it. Overall, the stock's favorable, but this is going to be more of a trader's dream more so than a long-term investing opportunity there, at least for the time being. All right, let's see. Yun wants to take a look at CCL. Sure. So poor long-term potential, a lot of risk associated with it. It's in a steady decline. Overall, the stock is not favorable. We've been talking about this one for a while now. You're really just seeing this sideways move until we can see a true breakout out of this channel here. Probably going to be avoiding it, waiting for the right opportunity, but that right opportunity is definitely not right now. ICLK. And we'll do a couple more after this one. So ICLK, more of an aggressive stock. You have great long-term potential. You do have some additional risk associated with it though. Really strong momentum right now. Overall, stock's definitely favorable. Let's see. Marvin's asking, how do you get into the Jockey Club? Just give our support a call and they can go over everything there. We do have trials on the Jockey Club. You can see how good it is and how beneficial it could be for any trader. So yeah, give our support a call. They can help you out. That's right. Yeah, Jay, I was pretty happy with that IGC trade yesterday for sure. Let's go ahead, take a couple more here. So LOW, great long-term potential, great fundamentals, strong, steady uptrend. Overall, the stock's definitely favorable. APS, great long-term potential, better than average fundamentals, so good. Less risk associated with it, if you will. Really strong uptrend, so yeah, overall stock's favorable. Royal Dutch Shell, 130,000 investment. Not following along with you, Mickey. Maybe I'm missing something to that there. Awesome. Thank you, Jennifer, for posting that about the Jockey Club there. PYPL, and then we'll do one more. PYPL. So PayPal, about average long-term potential, really solid fundamentals though, so less risk associated with it. Nice steady uptrend. Overall, the stock's favorable. And then last one, we'll finish off with JP NXTTF. NXTTF. The fact that it's 5 symbols tells me it is a pink sheet here or a penny stock. So this one, poor long-term potential, a lot of risk associated with it, and a steady decline. Overall, the stock is definitely not favorable here. Doesn't even look like it's actively trading right now either, but we can definitely double check that. Graph settings, go here, change it to volume, take a look. Yeah, really nobody is trading this. Very, very risky stock to be trading right now. All right, so on that note, just to quickly recap, as we can see, we are still one tick into the green. We scroll down here, buy to sell ratio actually pulling back, getting closer towards lower or being lower from the prior day. Declines picking up a little bit, advances essentially flat. Dow gaining a little bit, but not much. NASDAQ basically flat from where we last left it. Same as the S&P, same as the VectorVest Composite. So realistically, just a lot of sideways movement here since we got started with our session here today. So with that being said, I appreciate everyone that's been tuning in, everybody that's here today. If you haven't already hit that like button, make sure to do so. If you haven't already hit that share button, which everybody that's been here should have already hit that share button by now, make sure to do that. That way it continues to grow the group, continues to grow our VectorVest high flyers. So that way, the more input from you guys, the better the app experience can be for you guys as well. So make sure to add in all your friends, tell them to tune in every week. Let me know your thoughts. And on that, have a great rest of your trading day. Take care, be safe, and we'll see you all next week for another live session. Bye for now, everybody.